started to work with global villages after a very deep personal experience in Samos in Greece, when I felt that I was finding the environment in which I really resonated with the people, with myself, and with the environment, with nature. That was Greek mountain villages, and at the time I took every possible moment to flee Vienna to go there, and after very, very few times I saw they were dying. Young people were running away, there was no opportunity in these villages. And I began to ask myself, how can it be that we lose paradise every day? It's still there, I didn't know. So at the same time, I started to work with computers. I started to work with Apple computers, and suddenly the two things mixed in my head. At that time, this was really strange, because the people were concerned about nature and environment. The people were concerned about telecommunication and information technology. They virtually had nothing to do with each other. They hated each other. So I said, no, eventually this is going to converge. We're going to see a time when we use this new technology consciously to revive and rejuvenate those environments that our heart rejoices to be in. And this is what I did in the last 20 years. And today I would like to explain one section of this dream, which is monasteries. If you know what I would like to talk about, I would like to just very shortly look into the history. We have heard a little bit about history. I want to make some additional remarks. Then I would like to also put into our imagination and our awareness the seriousness of the situation that we're in. We're facing a big crisis. And then I would like to make the point that monasteries are a perfect symbol for what we're going to create, or what we have to create in the next years. And there will be some realities like this one, and when you look at the big picture, it's mind-boggling, because the other reality is already here. So let's start. Let's go back to the hermits. Who were those hermits? Here you have the other famous desert father. There was St. Paul and there was St. Anthony, and St. Anthony is more a very well-known superstar because he had these great temptations. He fled the world, and the demons in the desert, they tempted him with, like they tempted Jesus, with all the beauties of the world. But he said, that's not right. The way things are is not right. I went away because people in society do not live in the right way. So all these people were individualists. And this is really amazing. If we go to the next slide, same things happened in the desert. This is the Catherine's monastery from Mount Sinai. These individualists moved together. Pachomius and others, slowly, brought them to the awareness that living a life of their own is not a fulfilling life. So they became servants. This is in the 3rd, 4th century. It was a hostel. It was a place for pilgrims. From the very moment they started to take up tasks that society couldn't take up. Next. And during the centuries, monasteries suddenly became very popular as the strongholds for societal developments. In the 8th century, there was a very weird coincidence between the worldly need to establish a new Roman Empire and the readiness of monks to support that with a network of theocratic institutions. So monasteries became incredibly rich. Lena was still a Cistercian monastery, but was still the place where the idea was developed, and Admont is where you see the outcome. Next. What we can see with these monastic communities, the best thing you can say about them is they have been very resilient. They knew how to sustain themselves, and they became a family. They developed a gene pool, they developed diversity. Thus, the church had constantly created, or there were creations of new orders that deal with a lot of problems. Education, you name it. There was the order of the Franciscans who took care of urban poverty. There were orders that took care of, or they developed cultivation in nature, like the Cistercians, and so on and so on. So what I would like to take as a conclusion here is that we have to study. Maybe there are nice patterns to develop. Okay. I said that we are in a time of crisis. We are in a time where the old ways of economy stop working. The reason is we are too rich. We are too rich to repeat or to continue the old game of competition. Competition is costly, and since we invest all our energy into competition, we're losing all our wealth, although we are in the richest times that ever existed in history. So for many people, there is no wealth anymore. And many people have to see that they have no perspective of being fed by an industrial system, of being a part of a society that automatically functions like a clockwork. They have to take their life in their own hands again. So we have this movement that I'm very much connected to, also this transition movement next. And transition gives us a certain awareness that this is going to happen very fast. And one major point is we will run out of the lifeblood of this civilization. We have to entirely reinvent not only the ways we produce energy, but also our whole system of material production. And this is a time when we have to look back into history and see what are the best forms to recultivate a nature, to recultivate an environment that has gone out of shape. Monasteries were originally places of refuge where in the end of the Roman Empire, this was the time of the big start of the monasteries, people sought to deal with crisis, to cope with crisis. And then their results led to an incredible chain of other social forms that seemingly obsolesced the monastery. But now, in a really interesting dialectics of history, we are in a phase where the city does not work, the factory does not work anymore, and where new conditions have grown that make it very interesting to think about something similar like the monastery as a cultivation point of this new reality. Next. So I want to give you some reasons and try to expand the horizon what monasteries can do for us. Next. Of course, this is what I mentioned. Monasteries will be the places where you can move together with other people to create resilience. There is a refuge, a retreat that we need in a time where when we are called to be standing on our own feet. And the next is almost the opposite. Monasteries are not just a place of emergency. They're a place of unfolding of voluntary beauty. So, next. A monastery has this source of energy by focusing on the inner world. The strength does not just come from outside. It comes from deeply creating almost a tool that allows you to see the energy that you carry inside. So I put the image of a flotation tank there. We don't know what will be the tools to put us in the best contact with our inner world. But when we have old tools like meditation, we might have totally new tools. Monasteries are also places where we have a common goal. It's not just about living together, it's about having a common imagination, a common identity. Now, it seems, you might say, we have too many identities in the world, but on the other side, you have to have a certain image of life to create reality with other people. So if we see the world as a potential of unfolding of many parallel tasks of culture building entities, it doesn't matter if they are Buddhist or Jewish or Catholic, if they understand themselves as part of a bigger picture, and even places like this that are not affiliated to a reality, how strong would a network of such culture building places be? Places that all together know that the essential is not in economy. And of course, what is the first manifestation is healing. If we want to change the world, we have to start with ourselves. We have to start with a winter of wellness to create a spring of activities. So one basic function of the monastery is to heal ourselves, but also to become places of cultivation and show that integral natural systems, gardens, ecosystems can emerge. Here is a picture of Arco Santi, which is a neo-monastic. I would call it a neo-monastic approach, although it's meant to be a city of 5,000 people, but it's meant to be a city in a space of many, many acres of untouched nature, which does not exist anymore. The suburban reality has overflooded this Arizona desert, but still the dream is that you don't step on nature, but the human being is like a guardian, is like a cultivator, and life is fun because we have this beautiful synergy of a dense, populated place with free nature around. This was the idea of Paulo Soleri. So the monastery keeps a relation with nature as its lifeblood. Next. And we don't need the big monastery libraries, but we can envision starting to cooperate on scientific endeavors that outperform universities. Because the whole world is connected now with the internet. So even if we don't need the books, there is more knowledge than ever, and this knowledge does not take care of itself. It needs human consideration. Monks were the people that put pieces of knowledge in meaningful coherences. We are flooded with a world of meaningless knowledge, and we need a perspective how to put all these possibilities of human existence together. Next. And of course, it's not only about culture, it's about the tools. Monks were writing the books that started agriculture, the so-called farm books. Today, we have an unfolding world of open source hardware development. We have an unfolding world of recreating technology at a community level that allows us to be light on this earth, very effective, and to share all the knowledge and not to be dependent on anybody. And this is another major task for monasteries in the future, a place where our relation with nature, our relation with food, with building, tooling, and so on, can be recreated in an age of automation. Yes, and all that together creates a force. Hermann Hesse created an image of an order in his book The Glass Bead Game, an order that would serve as the center of a global cultural renaissance. And it would spread out into the world at large. And he says, if we have this reverence for spirit and cultural, we can be very sure that the rest of society might work better again because of this spilling over of considerateness. So this is in very short why I think the monastery metaphor is good. But let me show you some starting points where people start communities in this spirit, and it's not necessarily a monastery building, but it's the spirit, and if the buildings and the spirit come together, that would be wonderful. Next. Here's a place in Italy, Bolsena, where a group of software developers regularly meet. They're doing a geoinformatic information system, and they love the monastery as their place of sprint. Now, sprint is a method where you come together, you move together maybe for 3 days or a week or 2 weeks, like a vacation, and you know that you have to solve a big challenge together. And you do it almost by forgetting everything else. And the monastery is such an environment that allows you to do something like that. Next. Another place that I like very much and I consider monastic is this place in Italy, Villaggio Arboricolo. And these are people who deeply are concerned about the relation between man and plant. We think this is going to be one of the most important questions of the 21st century. How can we reconnect with the forest? How can we reconnect with the energy of plants? And one thing they are very famous for is their plant music. So they have created electronic tools that transmit certain parameters of plant life and turn into music. And you see, plants are even feeling beings. I experimented with that myself, and said, these are people who really are at the forefront of a new reality. They are really asking the question: how can we understand and work with nature better? It's beyond anything which is traditional ecology. Next. And this is a group in Missouri which reinvents agricultural technology. Open source ecology, they build a tractor, they build an earth brick press, and many other things. And they do it with full dedication. This could be an international venture hosted in monasteries. Next. Solar Power Village. These are people that have a fantastic solution for southern climates, where you can use the sunlight not in just one way, but they have developed a system of lenses and materials where underneath the sunlight, which is used for energy production, they can create greenhouses and a livable reality. And of course, we already mentioned Arcosanti. So this is just a glimpse, and I would really like to open the discussion afterwards. What is around in this world that can meet at places like here? Thank you.